Hello guys, my name is Armin. In today's episode, we're going to take a look at Nearmap. We are going through the full tutorial for 2026 Nearmap. I feel like there's a lot of good information that you can get from just the 2D Nearmap in terms of a different data for area, length, also elevation. Look at the area. You can basically drag some lines or polylines along the area that you want. You can get the fencing information. Also, you can get a lot of data in terms of the elevation, so you can use it for your cut and field. You can also export a georeference file and much more. You can create a bunch of markups and you can get a lot of data just from the 2D. And I think it would be a great tool for initial logistics planning. And I think you guys will enjoy it. And I would like you to share with me if you have used Nearmap before. If yes, what are the main tools or main features that you're using all the time and you like it? Please put that in a comment section down below. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and share with your team and your friends. And let's jump into Nearmap.
In today's episode, we want to take a look at Nearmap 2026, see what is available for us and what is the new options that's been added. I think it's a great tool that you can get your initial understanding of the project. If you want to put together logistics, create something real quick and share it with your team or get a little bit info. I think this is a good one with the Nearmap. So let's just look at see what we have overall here, and we can go over every single line items by items. So pretty simple. If you start from here, if you search for a specific area, you kind of put the address here, is going to bring up for you. But you have a little bit tool on top that these are is going to change based on what type of base map you choose. So they have a different type of base maps, such as vertical, panorama, oblique, roads, through ortho, and then 3D that they just added. And these are all the shortcuts if you want to basically toggle one off, one on, or kind of jump between them. You can kind of use these shortcuts. Dates, pretty simple. Basically tell you what is the latest and greatest based on that map base. So if I change this to, let's say, Parnoma, this might change. It's not going to stay at the same date. So based on what base map you choose, the date that the base map have been updated is going to be different. So just pay attention to that, see whether which one is always. When you go from one base map to another, make sure you double check the date and select the latest and greatest one. This is going to basically give you a view switcher. It's going to give you like you have a split, you have a mirror view, and then this is a little bit kind of different again on the base map. So if you go from one to another, it's going to give you a different one. So this one I'm comparing, let's say, compare this with a year before, so you can see if something happened over here in this area. Basically you can see some construction going on over there, and it's been done this year. So it's kind of give you a, let me just zoom out a bit so you guys can see it a little bit better. So basically when you kind of move these dates, it's kind of tell you, you can kind of pay attention to these areas on top that you can see the instruction, and then some changes have been made in those areas, right? So you can kind of see what's happened. You can toggle that, and again, that's available only, some of these map bases. You can double check. Let's just go to the mirror view, see how does that look like. So this is exactly give you the same thing, and if you want to do a different stuff over here compared to this area, basically give you a double view of the area. And if you want to kind of compare it, not use that, let me just select, let's say, same thing. So if I want to kind of see it side by side and not using the split view, which I have that divider in the middle and I can move. And if you feel like this is going to give you better understanding, look at two different instances or two different dates on one area. You can kind of mirror the same area that you have, and you can see as I move it basically this one moves as well. So if I get closer, you can see if it's going to get the same, and you'll be able to kind of adjust your view on one of them. You can see the exact same thing over there. So let me just go back to the full view and then let's just go through these items. And again, based on the base maps, all of these items that you have on top is going to change. And we kind of go over some of them and we'll provide you with a little bit tips and tricks on how you can use them. So the next one, panorama, you can see if I basically come here, you have the same split and mirror view. You can see a little bit is kind of changing. If I go to the next one, oblique, so right here, you pay attention when I go to oblique, that's basically the full view is only on, these two are off, and then I can basically just see like a north picture, like an additional photo you can get from this one. I can go to roads. So basically, this is the same thing that we all seen on like a Google map or anything, just gonna give you the roads only, no full view. You can go to through ortho. Again, kind of same thing. This one, you have the option to split the view or use the mirror. And then they added the 3D, which I like. I think it's really, really cool. The 3D view is gonna go from exactly the area you have, like a little bit closer to that area that you go. Sorry about this. It's gonna take a little bit to kind of upload. It depends on your computer to kind of see where your area is. For the 3D, is gonna take a little bit, but it's basically kind of show the 3D view of that area. And just pay attention, you don't have a split view, and the mirror is mostly like a full view of the 3D environment that you have. So let me just go back real quick to the vertical and just start from whatever we have right here. Okay, so all these items on the side, if you open up the layer, you can use any of these tool on top, which is going to be line, polyline, rectangular, and then circle under the vertical base map. You can create a different layer, right? Like if I say, okay, I have this, I want to do a construction at this area. So this is going to be basically, let's say my actual, all the way here, here. So this is going to be my fencing area, right? So I can kind of click on this. You can kind of name it. I'll say fence one. You can use the display on top. It's going to give you the line and then area, and you can see when you select basically anything that you put over here, it gives you the area, square footage. It can give you the perimeter. If you're dealing with the different units, you can simply click on the settings and then select basically kind of different items. If you want to rotate these, let's see, 20 degrees or 30 degrees, you just type it and do it for you, and you don't have to redraw it again. So let me just go back to 0. If you have different fences, you can basically just, when you select, you can check these actual like a color. You can select a different color, and then if you want to see all of this information on, you can have these checked on. If you don't like them, check them off, right? So it's simple. When you create this, you can also use the same thing, like line is going to provide the same thing over here. Let's say this is going to be my second actual, well, let's just go here. This is going to be my second fence. I'm just going to close it over here. Okay, and then let's just close it, for example, here. There you go. So this is going to be, let's say, my second kind of fence. I can go over here, I can right click on it, or I can do it on the other side. I can put fence 2. I can actually change the color of this one. And then a couple of things I want you guys to notice. First, when when I'm basically kind of clicking on these items on this one, you can see some stuff is going to show up over here. And how I get those, basically by display. So I want you to see the difference between the line that I drew versus the polygon. So the polygon with the display, I only have area and line. When I come on the lines, I right click on display. So if I select this display, so you have a line, you have a total, you have bearing, and you have the elevation profile. This is something that I really, really like, and you'll be able to see the elevation of any area that you are working on, right? Again, right here, you have everything you need. You have all the degrees, the units you can change, but I want you to pay attention to these. So I'm kind of moving my cursor in the bottom, and you guys pay attention to this little dot on top. So it basically telling me I'm going from where to where is going to give me the distance between those two areas, is going to give me the elevation, right? So if I right here going down 124, going up 127, so you are really, really have a good understanding of where the elevation is in this area and where that's gonna go. If you, let's say you're working somewhere over here, let's just drew something here. So let's say this is my construction fence at this area, right? So you can see how the elevation, because this is more, it can help you, give you a little bit of understanding for the cut and fill stuff that you have, right? So you can see basically where the dot is right here. So you have, here is the lowest point that you have at this corner. And then as I go around, you see it's kind of go up and down, goes like the distance 137, kind of coming down. So it's basically, and this is going to be kind of close and flat to the road, and then here is the highest elevation that you have in this area. And it makes sense, right? It's probably something over there like a higher elevation. And then when you get close to these roads, it's going to be lower. So this is basically what it's shown right here, and I think this is a great tool for you to get your cut and fill of the area really quick, have an understanding of the elevation of the area, and pay attention how I use it, right? So it's only on the line tool that you have access to the elevation. If you click on polygon, rectangular, so let's just see if I can do another one over here. If you notice, it doesn't have this, right? If I do the circle, so this one doesn't have it. So that's only available under line tool. So if you use the line tool, you can get these elevation plus the bearing. So just pay attention to the difference, like which one you use and what information you want to get out of this, right? So when you kind of create all of this, you'll be able to get each one, do the settings. The good thing is right here, you can create, so how I kind of rename. So if I have these two across the freeway or that we have here, say if you, okay, I just see if I find a crane that put it on one side of the job and see if I can, I know this is not practical, but let's say if you want to put a crane over here and you want to serve this side and this side, right? So you can kind of get a radius of it and put it over here and see how big that crane should be, right? So that's, nobody's going to do it, but just in case, you can kind of use these tools to find it. Let's say if you have like these two space, and then if you want to see, okay, where I can put my crane to serve this area, right? So this is easily, you can, by adjusting the radius of the crane, you'll be able to see it, right? Or if you have a big size like this, you can kind of say, okay, I just need one crane over here. I want to have another one in the middle, and then I have another one over here, for example, to kind of serve this area, to service this area when I'm working on the different phases. So the reason that I'm kind of drawing these, I want to give you a little bit understanding of how you can use this, right? So basically you can simply click on them, use the circle for giving you a little bit of understanding of, where the crane radius goes, where the fences are, how the logistics is gonna go, how the elevation I can get from, and you can create all of these, create a really nice logistics and share it with your team, right? And the other thing is right here is basically if you click on this, it kind of gives you the boundaries for all of these stuff around you. So you understand the boundaries for all of these areas. So you can see basically, and then, this one is going to add the roads to it as well. So you can see the name of the road. Also, you can see the boundaries and everything that you have. And then by these little kind of settings right here, you can change the opacity of the roads if you want, the background, you kind of make it darker if you want like this, so you can see your actual annotation and markup a little bit bigger, so it's a little bit more pleasing to users to kind of see the actual markup over here. So let me just close this one, get rid of the road and the boundaries. The other one that I just want to go over here is a comment. So let's say if you put a comment on this and it say with your team, like I say, this crane doesn't work, right? So it kind of shows right there, and whoever kind of look at you say, okay, this guy put these notes over here. They can understand it, right? And it's basically sits over here. The next one is the text that you can place, and you can kind of put the text over here, and let's just put it over here a little bit. Okay, so let's just put it over here and says, do we need crane here, right? And then all of them, it comes with the color. You can color code all of this. You can adjust the font. You can make them bold or not. And also you can kind of duplicate them, copy them, or, change anything that you want. So this is how the text stays on it. And then this is how comment works. So if you want to create a PDF, send it to people, people won't be able to see this unless you have access to the Nearmap and click on. But the text actually stays. And if you kind of export these as an image and send it to your team, they'll be able to see the annotation, but not the comments, right? So the comments, to me, it's a great thing to keep it between the superintendent or the project team internally who have access to the Nearmap. And then the text is what you can put it together and send it to your subs or whoever is going to work on the project so they can kind of see those texts. All of these is going to be under layers. You can kind of group them. You can kind of see when I was kind of click on this, it's gonna group everything. You can kind of create a file. You can import different layers if you have from anything. You can export the layers, and this is a great tool that you can create a template for your team, right? And say, okay, we all have access to the Nearmap. Let's just create a template, same color, same font, whatever it is that you and your company follow, and you can kind of put all of these together. The other one right here, it's a marker. So the marker is basically when you place, let's just put it over here. The marker is going to give you a few items, right? So it's going to give you where that area is, all the coordinates, everything that you have. You can adjust the colors. Also, you have these different symbol if you want to adjust them or if you want to use them on your area. I'll say, okay, this is, construction, whatnot. You'll be able to kind of use this. So it's kind of a little bit markers stay over there. Different one for the construction and utility if you want to use it. If you want a different symbol or you want to get an actual like a detail on it, or you can add description to it. I'll say next we have a list. Next phase, you can kind of put it over here, right? And then it kind of stays as a note on this. So whoever comes to the marker one, click on it. They saw that somebody kind of put a note over here that is when you're done here, you can come here, and then this is going to be the next phase. And all of these actual markups that you put on this page basically stays in here, right? So if I go to the markup list, I have one marker, it basically shows over here. So, and this is going to be the export, right, that I was talking about. So if you, let's say, finish this one and you want to send these to your team, you basically come over here, you can select the exports and then kind of the resolution, like which one, the highest is 12-inch. And as these box gets bigger, the resolution goes down, right? So it's kind of a little bit different. And the good thing is it's gonna include the georeference file. So I think this is a great thing based on if you're NAD 83, California zone or anything that you want, you can send the actual area that you send the snap and you send the georeference file with it. I think this is a great tool that you can share with your team for like a civil team, for whoever work on basically like landscaping, or like your civil engineer, the surveyors. So I think this is going to be helpful for them with a really simple and small item they can get a lot of information from. And then when you're done, you can confirm and export and basically export this image out for you. So if you want to download anything, you kind of click on this and you can kind of download a different file of this image that you have. And this is the comments go. So I put one comment over here, which is this one, it stays over here. So all of these, it's going to be all the markup that you put over here and all stays inside these actual map right here. The only thing that I just want to go over with you guys, so if I kind of go to a different uh, map base, I just want you to pay attention to one thing, right? So if you notice, when I go from one map base to another one, so the only stuff that carried over is my annotation, comment, and marker, and the markers, right? So all of those lines and the stuff that I put, it doesn't come to a different map base, and because of the angle and then data come from Nearmap, and you can see all of these stuffs are turned off, so I cannot do anything over here. That's why the actual data from my layers, fencing, and everything that put over there, it doesn't transfer from one map base to another. So I just want you to be aware of, if you go from different one to different one, some of them coming in, some of them doesn't, and you will be able to kind of see like the areas and everything that you have, right? So what of these area that you bring in, what items are gonna look. So like here, we have these two items open. Okay, so I just want to know what is this is. So if I, let's say I have this building, I want to put a notation, and I want you to pay attention to this, right? Because in the oblique you can go high as well, right? You can go the elevation. So I want to go around this, let's say, building. So let me just go here, here, and then here, and then let's just kind of close it. So, and then when I'm basically done, this is give me the height, right? So if I go from here all the way up, you see how I basically create the actual line here. So I can go up and draw in 3D. So if I, let's say this is the area, the good thing in Oblique is going to give you the ability to draw height, right? And also give you the elevation. So like from floor that I drew this to the top of this building is 34, right? 34 feet. So I just want you to know that you have all of these available. The good thing that I really like about the actual Oblique is you can get the elevation, and if you want to draw logistics and take it to 3D logistics with the 2D lines, this is a place that you need to come and draw your stuff here. So it's really good. It's gonna give you like a lot of info. The only thing is you just only draw it, and then that's it. Like it's not gonna give you any other areas, and then you can send out actual picture of this area as well when you're done, and you can share it with your team. This is goes on the wet. So if I go this way on top, I can draw this. So you can see I can draw these 3D map. Like let's say I want to get around this building. So you can see basically how it looks like, right? I can do the X, right, basically on the width and then elevation. So this is, I really like this mode. I think it's really good and give you a lot of ability, and you're not getting that much out of it. Just give you a length of the line that you drew, and that's it, right? So basically you can make it to a 3D area and adjust. So you can see the difference right here. You don't have a rectangle, you don't have a circle, but you have access to the height and width. You can add it to it. And all of these gonna stays over here. And if I go back, let's say to vertical, so that doesn't show up, right? Because I didn't draw it over here, right? This is like a different one. The other thing I think was kind of important, wanted to make sure that you guys know this is a good tool that you can add to your tool set, and you can get the elevation off of. You can draw stuff on top of it. You can put together a quick logistics plan with a lot of data, right? So if you have, let's say, a blue beam and you want to create the actual 2D logistics plans, you don't have all of these info. Like it's not going to give you the elevation of the areas, right? You don't be able to do it real quick, add all of these annotations, share it, send a georeference file with the actual logistics that you put together to get a lot of markup. So I think this is a great tool for your internal and external communication of the early logistics, and also you get a lot of data and information from it. So hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. If you like the content, make sure to subscribe and leave a like. And I want to know how you guys using Nearmap in your daily, if you have access to it and if you're using it, just let me know how you use it, what data you're getting from, and I want to create another video, just a tips and tricks that comes from you guys, and you can share it with the community. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. We'll see you in the next video.